Michael, welcome to the Smart Factory and welcome to Durst-Group. I say Durst, but that is not how you say it, is it?
No, we say Durst. So we are based in Italy, but we are German speaking, and so it's Durst.
Yeah, you are placed in the Italian parts of Tyrol, right?
Yes, that's the German speaking part of Italy. So basically, Tyrol has three components. Two are based in Austria, one in Italy, and we have two. The headquarters that's in Brixen, and one. And we also have a quite big production base, and that's also where Hans Peter with his software team is based.
And I can't help thinking of, because I made an interview with Christoph Gamper, your boss, some months ago, and he had to show off a little bit. So he, of course, showed your fantastic headquarters, the building of it, right? Did it land from space, or was it something that was built?
Yeah, I think they were. It comes directly out of space and in Brixton.
Fantastic. So welcome on board, Deborah. I don't know if you know Deborah, but she's my sister in arms. So she is the one that will manage the chat and make sure that we exposure we can have on the internet. So be friendly to her, then she will be friendly to you. I guarantee that, right?
I've been tagging you guys for a while on LinkedIn and on Twitter and things of that nature. But yes, Morten, to jump behind the scenes, and if as people have questions, and I'll mark them and I'll let everybody know what's going on. But have a great session. I'm really interested in learning more from everybody here.
Good to see you, and thank you very much, Deborah. So let's talk a little bit before we see your preparation. And I know, Michael, that you have a terrible reputation of not sticking to the timeline. Isn't that true?
Yeah, about digitalization and the topic like smart factory. So it's quite a big risk that we are too exaggerated to talk about this topic, and but we will try hard to manage to keep the time.
That's fantastic. And we haven't met before, so can you're with LiftERP? I can't remember. Is that the ERP solution that is owned by Durst, or is it something completely different? I remember that you have some software companies in Durst-Group, right?
Yeah, LiftERP. We started it about 5 years ago. It was a standalone company into a Durst venture with Durst in 2018. So we've been in a partnership with them since then, and it's been a great partnership so far.
So I had to tease you a little bit. When you say Durst, do you mean Durst? Okay. I just wanted to be the interpretation here, so we're sure that everything.
Durst-Group.
Durst-Group. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so LiftERP is. Do you say that it was initiated as a new product 5 years ago?
Yeah, that's when we started with a partnership group, and we partnered with a very big, large Durst customer. They had a lot of Durst presses, and we started with them, and there was some print brokers involved and agencies involved, and we all came together and agreed that there was a big missing piece in the print industry, really good software to address the needs. We started with wide format. And from there, 2 or 3 years of trying to go on our own, we had a great opportunity to partner with and really expand what we were doing.
I can't help think about how fortunate situation that must be, because I mean, a lot of the ERP systems and MIS systems that you see around are so relying on legacy data and legacy developing, but it must be so nice to start on a fresh basis, right?
It's excellent. It's wonderful. We started in the cloud. The cloud was just really obviously being talked about before then, but right around 2015, it wasn't about people were going to Oracle and people were going to Amazon and NetSuite, and it was more of a reality. And we had the opportunity to start with only the cloud in mind. We're not going to bring our legacy in. We're going to start and only go in that direction.
From your perspective, I want to talk to both Hans Peter and Michael as well, but I just need to clarify things here. So when you started the approach, you say that it basically came from a demand from a customer, and it developed from there before it became a product. more inspired and then you created the product, or how do you see that?
You know, a group of visionary people sat at a table, and one of them had a print factory. A couple of had a lot of print customers, and we sat down and said, we want to build a product, but the best way to start is with a client. So, you know, we formed it in a way that we were starting by solving a problem immediately for a group that were connected in the print industry and one print factory, but it was always the intention to build a product.
And when you look at some of the challenges, when you say that you identified there was a need in the market, I think that you will be talking about this in a moment as well, but just shortly, was that specifically to narrow web, to large format, to what kind of, where was the main painstake at the time where you started this thing?
I think the owner of the print company that became our first client, one of the very first things he said was, why do we have this paperwork circulating around? It's, you know, 2015, can't we get rid of that? So can we have a totally paperless factory? Can we automate things? Let's take let's save 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week of what people are doing in repetitive shuffling around paperwork and you know, errors because things change, but the press operator doesn't know. And let's go solve that. And then the other one that he solved was, I want my customers to be able to open up their web browser and they know the press. They can see when it's, and then the conversation is, well, why can't they also approve their proofs? Why do we have to email them? And then the conversation went further. Why can't they just place their orders? So I think there was two missions: paperless factory, automate it, customers be integrated directly in, and that became LiftERP.
Great story. I look forward to hear more about it. Hans-Peter, what do you do? I mean, I guess you work from time to time, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Role with Dust?
The role inside the companies that I'm the, let's say, the product owner of Dust workflow, and or I manage the development team of the Dust workflow and analytics and so on. Yeah.
How comprehensive is that? I mean, because if you look at the headline for this session here is of course also under the umbrella with smart factory, and I think that, you know, integration is more and more evident that it's a needed thing. But I was also thinking there's so many third parties out there. So is there a need for having yet another supplier in that segment, or is it because you offer something that you believe is unique to the marketplace?
Have the same setup as Paul mentioned before. Yeah, we started 2014, so let's say 6 years ago, and with the same setup. Yeah, I hate hot folders, and that was my goal, just to invent a new application which is again or browser based, and that's what we want to set up, and we want to combine this together in one application. We do not invent new technologies like color management and dripping and PDF creation. We only want to tie the best of the world's technologies together and to make it manageable in the browser.
Sounds great. Michael, let's hear, what do you do when you work? I shouldn't have. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked.
I can't understand you. No.
No, I joined Durst 2018. That was founded the Durst Professional Service, our software company from Durst. It was also the time where the pixel to output strategy was taking the core strategy for the next year for the Durst-Group, and that was the idea of not only providing our machines to the market for printing, but the entire solution. And that was the starting point of thinking about how we can form our companies in a complete digital world, so that we are making step-by-step the approach that we can provide a smart factory to our customers. So we bring everything together in the software pieces necessary, the machines, build up a smart factory. So it's perfectly fits to the topic we are going to talk today. And
yes.
And my responsibility is for the entire software ecosystem of Durst. and I'm one of the managing directors of the Durst Professional Services in digitalization for Durst.
I can't help think about one of the things I talked to Christoph Gamber about was he was actually very happy that you were a privately owned company, so you don't have to go through all the obstacles of up and downs in the market. That also gives you both a reliable platform, but also the flexibility to follow up on the directions you want to move your company in. Right? It must be very satisfying to be in a company with that basis.
Of course, because we can we focus on our vision, and we are not driven by quarterly results. So that really gives a lot of it's really inspiration to work for this company, because it's all about long-term vision and bringing the customers.
Fantastic. And with that said, I think you should just get started with the presentation. I will, as usual, be listening, and I will be ready to comment and also take questions in the chat if anybody has any questions. So welcome again, the three of you, and I hope you will enjoy yourself for the next minutes for presenting Durst.
Thank you. So what we want to present and discuss today is our interpretation of a smart factory. And the way to a smart factory is to define workflows, processes, digitize, connecting to customers, connecting processes, connecting the machines, and even connect to suppliers. And if you bring everything together, then you can create really a smart factory. And what we will discuss or present today is the challenges we want to address. The aspects of a smart factory we think are essential. Of course, there's production processes, but also really important that you keep always your business idea and your customer in mind. And the success factors for the implementation of a smart factory. But we don't only to discuss about the concept and the vision, we also bring some real life examples from our customers so that you get a good understanding where we are at the moment and what we are able to do right now. So let's start with the challenge. Basically focus on four. The most important one is, of course, the customer expectation. So the customer's expectation is driven by in our daily lives, like watching movies on Netflix or ordering products at Amazon, where you're used to that you have just-in-time order and same-day delivery. Also, the shopping experience in the internet is superb. If you're going, for example, buying shoes or configuring a car online, you exactly know what you're getting. There's really good product presentation with high quality product visualization. So you basically know what you get. The configuration on the internet, and we also use that we are always connected. We have all the information we need just one click on the smartphone away. We always know where our orders are. We get all the we need. So we like a product recommendation or updates from services we're interested in, and this is possible 24/7 hours and 7 days a week. And we are not longer limited of where we are sitting to work from everywhere in the world. Yeah, now a little bit limited to the COVID, but basically we are more and more used that we can interact wherever we are. And the question is here how to make customer interaction as easy and convenient. So as we are using our daily experience, like with companies Amazon or Netflix, I mentioned before. And this results also in the labor needs. Of course, if you want to implement or you have this digital knowledge needs inside your company, and on the other side, it's quite difficult to find hard people. So you have the work. Often you don't have the best qualified persons, and you have to bring them up in speed. So you need intuitive interfaces and minimal training. And the question here is how to make the communication and the collaboration as easy and effective as possible. One of the big I think in our industry, above all, if you are talking about large format, that's as Paul explained before, all this paperwork, this manual job routing, the job bags, you're around the fabric that's hard to circulate and quite cost intensive and also error prone. And a lot of people are spending a lot of time in repetitive tasks you could potentially automate. And that's, I think, here the main question: how, as much as possible, and create space for real creative and value-adding activities. The 4th point is the IT system. We often find really fragmented IT landscapes with a lot of different tools, each separately chosen from the departments, and they have a lot of silos, and that's quite difficult to connect them all together, and that results often in a very complex system that's hard to maintain, and keeping up to date. And the question is here: how can we reduce the complexity and allow the print company to focus on the core competence of printing, and that they don't struggle with limited IT systems? So that's what a smart factory should give an answer to, of course. And we think that a smart factory should be a 360-degree solution and taking into account aspects: the customer experience that you are generating along all touch points. So from online design to the approval process to keeping the customer informed with status updates and the reordering, so that you complete and have a 360 customer care. Then, of course, the process automation here end-to-end. That's important that you always keep the goal of full automation in mind. So the process starts at sales, where the order comes in, and the automation of production. If you bring that all together, then you create a lot of data, and that's crucial that you analyze not only the efficiency of your production, but also of your business. Analyze, for example, the conversion of your sales, and also really important and often under-evaluated is the post-sales analytics, where you evaluate the rating of your product, the rating of the shopping experience, because this is the basis and profitability. Now let's have a closer look to these 3 aspects. So I think that's really important. Customer communication, you digitize and automate as much as possible along the touch points of the customers, and you automate all the interaction that's not necessarily based on personalization. Free room that for personal interaction with your customer that is essential for the relationship. If you succeed with this, you have more time for customer service. You can get the customer better engaged along the process, and that's easier. And you have all the benefits, of course, that you can realize more customization, short-time deliveries, and you are always available for your customers. Aspect, that's the automation of along the process. Our goal is that we automate as much as possible of repetitive tasks, and I think here's the important thing, that you always do end-to-end thinking. For an order intake, you have always to question: is this task repeatable? If yes, then describe it, digitize it, and automate it, so you can establish an end-to-end data and production workflow, and this will possible to you to have more time for creative tasks, to realize faster turnarounds, and to do auto-routing of the jobs. And with a digital process, you also can embed the quality insurance within your process, so that you have less errors, gathering all the transparency you need for managing a smart factory. The 3rd aspect is the production itself. Here it's all about automating lines to connect the machine together, machine to the workflow systems, so that you can reduce the planning effort, you can reduce errors, and you can push the machine ROI. So if you automated lines, you can do automated load balancing equipment, you can do auto routing of the jobs. and build in our error avoidance in the process, so that you can, for example, control the access to the settings, so that only experienced operators can change something. Software guided workflows that will force you to do some steps before you can continue, and that will all push your quality and the results of your production. So in summary, the end-to-end definition and digitizing of the process, your business process, that's the key. A smart factory, in our point, a digital sales force that is enabling you to sell products online to new customers with a shopping solution, or with a customer portal where existing customers can more easily place orders and interact. They should provide a digital artist for repetitive tasks, so that your qualified people can more focus on creative work, and all the PREPRESS and PDF workflow should be automated as much as possible. It's also for the shop floor, where you can provide a digital production manager assistant, let's say, that's doing for you the job routing, assigns the job to machine, and provides you all the necessary data to analyze your production to the next level. And that's also valid for all the service. If you implement it right, will have always transparent the machine house. You can implement the machine house supervision, and with preemptive maintenance, ensure that the productivity of your machines and the uptime of machines is on a high level. Yeah, that's our vision, like a smart factory should look like. For going to implement a smart factory, I think it's always important that you keep two different aspects in mind. One side, that's business and customer. You need a good business idea. You need a solid. You must implement it carefully, and afterwards you should analyze it carefully. That you always see if you are on track with your business idea, and you're also generating the profit you are expecting to. In the inner circle, you have to look at your internal efficiency, and here it's important that you have superb software. You get it integrated as seamless as possible in your environment, that you have your people qualified with the right training, so that out the best of the tool set. And if you are not that IT-driven company, then it could also be a good idea to look for managed services and equipment, so that you can fully focus on your business and by handling complex and cost-intensive IT systems. So what does it mean in reality? We prepared some examples we want to talk with you about in the next 20 minutes. One is we want to show how we brought our ready-to-use business solution to the market. Then we have two examples for like a BILLBOARD, where we can show how everything works together in an end-to-end workflow. And the last example, that's an example from Durst. We launched a new product, Durst Habitat. It's an air disinfection system, where the challenge is to a fast time to market and to establish a completely new sales channel, because we are addressing new customers. Let's start with the example of face mask. During the COVID crisis, format customers, their business model are based on event and shows, had really a huge problem, because the orders dropped dramatically, and there we brought a complete business solution to them. So a pre-configured product online shop for face mask, where you can personalize it, a workflow solution that connects the online shop to the printer and cutter. You need, of course, a textile printer to produce the mask. For all the process know-how that you can print and assemble the product. To demonstrate it how it look like in practice, short video to you I would want to show. Yeah, with this turnkey solution, we helped our customer to be productive also during the Corona crisis. And if you provide a solution like that, it's really easily to implement it in a company and to go productive again. The next use case we want to discuss is BILLBOARD. Hans-Peter, I'm handing over to you.
Thanks. Can you press the next? If then, yeah. Using the BILLBOARD production as an example, I would now like to show you how the smart factory works from the creation to the production and installation. With our smart editor, we enable customers to upload existing, no, the previous one, sorry. In uploading existing designs for the smart factory and on top to create their own designs based on templates. However, customers know. Previous, I will say when click. However, customers, the customers open the smart editor. Yeah, you see it here, which can be implemented as an open shop or as a closed shop. Their customers will find a product that meets their requirements, especially for billboards. Existing designs still need to be adapted for the region where they are used. Next one. After opening the editor, an existing design can be used and redesigned with information, or your own design can be uploaded and placed on the available space. Next. Customer does not have access to images or patterns. Corresponding image databases are available in the smart editor, where the user will certainly find appropriate designs, materials. Options such as color, font selection, as well as image enhancement options are available in a very intuitive way. Next. After the creation is completed, the result is shown in the selected environment. This can be a mock-up, a 3D, or an augmented visualization on a tablet or smartphone. If the customer is satisfied, the order can be placed. Depending on the integration, so either Smart Shop will be integrated directly to Lift or Smart Shop will integrated to the workflow, all data is transferred to the print file, with the print file to the workflow. Next one. After the transfer to the Durst workflow, the print data is pre-flighted and according to the international used PREPRESS standards such as BDFX or BSO or PSD. Next. If an error occurs or warnings come up, this should normally be obsolete when using. The print file would be marked within the status data check and submitted to PREPRESS. PREPRESS would have a look on the file, apply a fix-up, just mentioned 150 corrections available in the browser-based workflow. So you don't need a dedicated application. and set the status if the print file is done to print ready. Printer without errors and warnings are automatically set to print ready by the Durst workflow. And of course, the status print ready is transferred back to the Lift. Next. The approval of print ready files is done via Lift. The design of approvals can be personalized in different ways depending on the customer's needs. The necessary templates are generated inside Durst workflow, transferred to Lift. The distribution and the handling of the approvals is fully managed by Lift. Next. With one click, print data can be approved on any device. The customer needs to add comments. This can be done by entering annotations. Rejecting an approval stops the automated process for sure, so the print data is not prepared. Depending on the customer's decision, the status in Lift and thus also in Durst workflow is changed accordingly. Next one. If the print file has been approved, the status set automatically to approved. All corrections required for the printing or finishing are automatically applied to the print file. Fix-up chains consisting of different and/or identical fix-ups, really definable values can be created in Durst workflow and assigned to the product inside Lift. Next one. At the end, LiftERP sends a request to the workflow to in this case it was the BILLBOARD 40 by 48, which enables the workflow to do so. So the fix-up chain includes, first step was the upscaling to 168 by 576 inches, 76 inches, a distortion within a given tolerance. Then the next step was to add an edge reinforcement for 6 inch on all edges. Then dynamically generated finishing and reordering information as barcodes, plain text were added. You see it on the left side. And at the end, maybe a diagram was added, depends on the further production. The final product ready print file will be, the updated information will be handed over to LiftERP. Next one. Once data preparation for production has been completed, the operator has to decide the print file should be nested with other print files or whether the print file should be based on this, divided into tiles based on this size. As Lift knows that this billboard will be produced on a P5, Lift will create a production job assigning the output and cutter configuration and automatically tile the billboard in 10 tiles with the same width. Next one. The result is stored in the production job. The rendering process is triggered automatically after the tiles have been created. Rendering as well as applying color transformation and color management to the output color space of the individual tiles parallel in the background. The job will be sent to the press, the cut file will be sent to the selected destination, and the status will be set to send to printer, and this will be updated in Lift, so everyone has the same picture on the progress of this billboard. At the end, we will next one. So Paul will continue to, yeah.
All right, thanks, Hans-Peter. So we've got a couple different use cases here. This one with the billboard. We have a lot of nice tools for users in the sales process, order entry, pre-press. In this case, it's been all automatic. The client placed their order online in a smart shop. They submitted it. It went immediately, directly, seamlessly into workflow. All of the pre-flight checks happened automatically. It went through that process. We sent an approval to the customer. They approved it, and that automatically triggered the production job, the operation, and the production job to go to the press. So we've had no touches from a human being, a staff member of the Smart Shop so far. So in this use case, the order literally came in from the internet and came off the press. So now we're using LiftERP to manage the workflow once it comes in without any paperwork. So a production manager, they should be able to track all of the different jobs across all of the different finishing stations, the presses, what do I have in cutting, what do I have in laminating, and so on and so forth. They keep monitoring this instead of having stacks of different folders in bins, whether it's at a desk or on a, having all that paperwork. They're in their screen. They can see where all the jobs are. And a press operator, they just touch the circle of all the jobs that need to be pressed. Maybe they touch the Durst 5 button, and all of the jobs with all of the specifications are stacked here in their screen. They can scroll up. They only see what they need to, so they're not digging through a job folder. So they can see the material, the dimensions, the bleed, pocket size, everything that is pre-configured or passed in along with this order that was designed on the web. It all feeds in. The press operator, they just click a button to mark it as processed. Inventory in the smart factory is automatically reduced, and any costs associated with the labor and the machine and the printing of this is automatically applied to the job. All right. Once the printing is complete, then the machine is giving us some information. We know how much ink was used, how much material was used. We have lots of nice information at the end of the day. Utilization, what is the availability? So all of this, the operators are telling us things, the customers are telling us things, and the machines are telling us things, and we're recording all of this. So when you get it out of paperwork and you get it digitized, we have a lot of data, a lot of information that we're pulling together for later. Okay, so now the press operator has taken this graphic, they're taking it to the next station. The system told them where to take it. There's no notes or sticky notes or information that they have to dig through in the folder. So in this case, maybe we've our iPad, we bring it up. Shop managers, again, they see all the jobs, where they're at from anywhere in the world. Maybe they're at the factory, maybe they're having to work from home, who knows? But they can see how many jobs are in design or how many are in cutting. And not only that, they have some nice little cues to tell them how many of these are rush jobs. I can see we've got 6 jobs in the printing step. I've got a rush job in cutting. There's something on hold. I should be able to easily see this summarized for me in my mobile. I can touch any of those to drill in, and I'm going in and looking at that stack of jobs from anywhere in the world. And the shop floor workers, they just touch the button. So they touch the button. Now I'm in cutting. I touch it. I see the screen just like the press operator did, and mark my job done. In this case, the job, maybe someone touched on the packing screen. They're going and they're ready to pack their job. The system should be automated so that all of these manual steps are taken away. They don't have to think about, okay, what are the dimensions of the box? How are we going to ship it? The system can be pre-configured to know all of these things. Because the system passed in information from the ERP system to the pre-flight system, and that Durst workflow generated on the graphics, everything is seamlessly connected. The packing operator can literally scan the barcode, and that job can be marked as packed, shipped, generate a shipping label. Tracking information is connected. The driver scans it, and now we're connected to the carrier, so updates as it hits the hub, as it goes out for delivery. If there's any exceptions, LiftERP knows and the customer knows in real time. See, we're all connected. Maybe there's an exception, or maybe it's installed. So now the installer goes, they install it, they scan it, it's done. We can send that notification as a nice branded email, or we can send it as a push notification to our mobile phone or even to a watch. And customers in real time, the client, maybe the client's client, however you want to set it up, they know every step of the way what's going on. If they don't want to know, they don't when it's installed. Okay. So here's a second use case. In our billboard example, there was maybe a smart shop from the print company. Maybe it was a marketplace, some place where they ordered online. In this case, we're going to do similar use case, but we're going to use the LiftERP portal. So maybe it's more of a business-to-business scenario. So your customers can place their orders directly. So here we have a of LiftERP portal. You can easily pick out of catalogs your products. You can drag and drop your art, and you can submit your order. And if you have it integrated with Durst workflow, as soon as you hit that order, it's going to be an entire automated process for pre-flight checks, proof approval, and creating print-ready files just like we saw. And in this case, for these customer portals, we've had fantastic success with clients who were and wanting to get their clients placing orders online. It really serves two really fantastic benefits. One, there's a productivity benefit with the clients as they, they shift the order placement to doing it with CSRs, but also the clients love to do it. And rather than me talk about it, I would like to share a video that one of our clients put together. It's a marketing piece that they did for their clients, and in fact, training at the same time. So I just want to play highlighting the use of a LiftERP portal. So for share, I think our clients do a better job of maybe marketing and sharing the story of what we're doing than we do sometimes. It just highlights that it's not all theory and philosophy. Our clients are really doing that. They're benefiting today. Fire, them in particular, I think they're over 60% of their clients placing orders directly. So the BILLBOARD example is one of our companies that has become a smart factory, and Firehouse Images, they are also well on their way to becoming a smart factory. So life examples that are experiencing the benefits today.
Fantastic presentation. Paul, I can't help think that you may be a little bit too hard on yourself because as you give credit to Firehouse, which is perfect, but I think that the Durst and LiftERP is doing is also pretty incredible. So I think that you help your customers elevate their business, right? And I think that may be one of the purposes, right?
Absolutely. It just goes even better when we have so when there's groups that see the vision and they're willing to go for it, it becomes reality.
One of the things that I really like when I see non-legacy software solutions like LiftERP, and also, by the way, presentations around the workflow and how you do things, I can't help think about that. Let me say, just my humble, not humble, my direct opinion. When I look at something that looks like a Windows 3.1, it's just disencouraged me so much to use it. And what I see from your guys is just, it looks so, I want to touch it kind of thing. Have you any idea how much that influences the decision to choose a solution like?
Well, if the question is to me, I'll answer real briefly. I mean, I talked about 3 or 4 kind of visionary individuals sitting together at a table 5 years ago. And the number one thing we said was it has to be beautiful.
Yeah.
It has to look good. It has to be the standard for external clients. You have to be proud of your brand, and it has to look good enough for the clients. But if we're going to do that, why shouldn't it be that good and that kind of experience for your CSRs, your sales reps, your art room, they should come in and feel good about the software also. And that's how, for LiftERP, that's why it is an ERP system, but also a customer portal all one together, because we made it all at that standard because we knew how important it was to get out of, we called it a tool, but we said it can't be Excel-y, you know? So for us, it was very important. And I do get the feedback that part of the buying decision is it looks beautiful. It's a great interface. People love the interface. So
one of the things I can't help think about, and Michael, maybe you can answer this question or comment on what I'm saying. Whenever I go to any trade shows and I see both your hardware and your software, and also what you do is the self-confidence that I believe you as a company have, also seems that you kind of try to own the full space of both hardware and software in a way where you kind of embrace the cost. Is that a strategy, or is that just something that comes to mind from my side right now? I mean, because you look at the software side, you look at the hardware side, you look at the broad number of applications and equipment that you can deliver. It seems that, and also even if you look at the relationship that you have with Koenig and Bauer in those combined machines, it seems that everything is going in a kind of a Durst-Group way, which is good. So I'm not questioning that. I'm just asking if that is a strategy, or it's just you're good at what you do.
Yeah, I think first it's a lot about passion. I think Durst is really a company that's driven by passion, driven by perfection. We want to get the best customer experience for our customer and also for their customers, that they are doing, they are creating a lot of profits, and that was driving us. And I think that's within the DNA of the Durst-Group. But of course, it's also strategy. As I mentioned at the beginning, the strategy that Durst is following to output, meaning that our scope is from the creation of a digital product, meaning you're online designing in the internet, or you are uploading an artwork, from there till the shipment or the delivery of the product, to create the customer experience along this end-to-end process, and to help our customer to be successful.
Hans Petter, in your opinion, being responsible for the workflow and for the architecture, I think that one of the mantras that we see also in the industry right now is an openness towards other systems and other vendors, and also to even integrate through APIs and things like that. Is that something that you also offer both on the LiftERP side?
Yeah, absolutely. The applications alone work as they are doing. Yeah. So from the passion is the application should do the job. Yeah.
Hopefully, yes.
And then the other passion is to make it usable for the customer. To invest a lot also into user interface and UX. And to be open to other vendors. It's absolutely important, and we never want to be a closed system. Always are open. Even we drive other printer vendors. We can connect any ERP system. We can connect any online portal and so on. Yeah, and that was the main goal from whole system. This whole business solution here, yeah, is to be able to drive everything, yeah, and to in contact and to integrate other systems, for example, or also workflows. Yeah.
Paul, I take that when you go to market in the US, of course you face the American demands and American customers and the American needs. That things are working in Europe whereas the US. Is there a good connection in the needs in the markets, or do you sometimes have to go back to the Europeans and say, "Hey guys, we are Americans, we need something else," or how much space in your opinion?
Well, that happened. So you know, we kind of had a soft launch. I guess it was obviously not this year, 2019 FESPA. Soft launched there and picked up a couple of European clients. And so there was a lot of learning in that process. Apparently you guys like metric. Who knew? So obviously with currency and with languages and things like that, but in terms of the business process, our software, we built it very, very flexible, very, very configurable. If your business has 25 different manufacturing steps, you will have 25 manufacturing steps. If you've got 10 or 5, we can do that. It's rules-based. If no one in Europe uses laminating, which is obviously they do, we can turn it off. So everything can be turned off. Everything can be turned on. We just had to get over the metric and the language and the currency. So we're ready to go. We've got 2 European clients that are just now going live.
And in the session we had before you guys, that was CERM, who has really focused on the narrow web MIS part of the industry. They had 2 customers talking about how easy the implementation and appreciating that process. When you both as a new supplier into the market, but also with a little different approach, how do you process? Is that something that should give people sleepless nights, or is it something that should be pretty easy to get going with?
Well, for us, you know, we like to sell it as a very white glove approach where we a lot of that for you. We're always having a conversation. We don't give you a link and a book and tell you good luck. So we guide you through the whole thing. There are groups that they tell me, look, we're coming from a coal mine, pack of folders and maybe Excel spreadsheets. We get us online quick, and we can get groups online quick. In 2 months, they're online, and they're getting immediate value, and they're starting to streamline their processes, and they don't have to wait 6 months or 12 months to be live. They're live with their benefits, and they're enjoying those benefits as they refine the software and really get it going. We've got other groups that we don't want one user to look at this until every single cost to the penny is calculating correctly, and customers and materials and everything's there, and they want to go that way. And so we've had like a 12-month implementation. I would say that's kind of the longest, but neither way is right. For some groups, going live perfect and users having a good experience is the best way. Other ones, get me live fast and let's learn as we go. And somewhere in between, we're happy. We're very flexible. We'll do it anyway, whatever makes the most sense for the customer. And they shouldn't have sleepless nights, because whichever way makes sense for their business and in the end, be successful.
Do you ever have any reluctance towards being a cloud-based solution? I mean, because we become more and more dependent on that kind of infrastructure. And of course, the infrastructure also becomes better and better everywhere. But you have hiccups from time to time with being booted out of never. As you have never electricity failures in the US either, right?
So there's a couple of good examples. I will tell you. Amazon Web Services, I think it was 17 or 18, I can't remember, and there was a day where all of Amazon went down, the whole eastern side of the United States. And we had probably 6 hours, 7 hours that, it was unavailable. But you know what else was unavailable? The internet, like everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the whole internet goes down, that's a bad day. I think we've had 2 instances kind of like that. What I would tell you, I have a lot more hesitation and concern over the opposite. A bunch of local installs all over the universe. Whose fault is it? Is it my network? Is it this? Is it that? If your electricity in your shop goes down and you have to your local LAN, guess what you still have access to? Your cell phone.
Yeah.
And you can still access your jobs. Customers can still place orders, even if your factory is completely offline. So
you can see there's kind of a built-in redundancy having the.
That's right. I mean, we've had groups that have done that and operated for 3 hours, 4 hours while their internet was out, for whatever reason. So I actually believe cloud it's becoming faster, it's becoming more affordable, it's becoming more resilient all the time. I think it's a more robust, stable, reliable way to be than trying to manage it all yourself locally.
I agree with you. The reason why I was asking is just because I was thinking that some of the reluctance that people may have towards moving, like, what is the implementation time? What is the cost? How dependent do I get to infrastructure that I can't control? You know, these kind of things are probably not questions that you will never, ever meet, right?
I get them, and I answer it with the same answer I kind of gave you. And I think some groups, they really, really want their server. They really want their access to their data. If that's a hurdle they can't get over, it's the right way to go. And if you can trust and have faith and have confidence to put your business online and have it, then you are connected to the smart shop. You're connected to the smart factory. You're connected to the workflow. You're connected to your machines. It's a good place to be.
And in that perspective, I was just curious. So if you look at from being a new player in the market, what kind of obstacles do you see in getting in? I mean, I take that you have the time to get the customers you need, but I also take that everything with something as great as yours, you have some kind of impatience and just let's sell some more, right? So what kind of obstacles do you meet when you go to market?
Well, COVID-19 helped us just a little bit with that sales volume. So good news, bad news. I think that we would like to grow faster. Obviously, not. I'm not afraid of growing too fast at the moment. That can change in February or March when normal. I think I would say that right now it's controlled growth rather than explosive growth. Mm-hmm. And we're always looking at it. We're always worried about it, but fantastic team. We know how to scale. We've engineered and built the infrastructure and the software in a way to easily scale. So I think we can dial it up and we're going to be good.
And how much are you depending on the ratio from Durst customers versus non-Durst customers? How does that look for you?
So I'm pretty sure 75 or 90% of our clients right now have some piece of Durst gear in their shop. The partnership with Durst and that relationship is a great piece. It's a great avenue for us with customers. There's been an acquisition of Vanguard, so that's going to be another piece, another group that we can. So I don't think we're entirely reliant on Durst, but obviously it's a fantastic partner, and going after that user base is a great place for us.
Of course, and I mean everybody can like to have friends and make sure that you can get things going in a good way. And I believe that when you partnered up with Durst, I think there's a good reason for it, because there was a power outlet with Hans-Peter, right?
The smart factory's still up.
Hans-Peter's light out production, right? Sorry, I couldn't help. No, so I think that when it comes to everything, it's just like a good opportunity should be taken, and when Durst has invested in a I think it's because there is an expressed demand for something that support their business in a better way, right?
Yeah, and I think we go and we're looking at other partnerships also, whether it's tools, whether it's Zund, whether it's other groups. So LinkedIn is something amazing to me. I'm still trying to figure it out, but as we go and grow our relationships with other vendors, with other suppliers, there's a lot of avenues.
When we spoke yesterday, Hans-Peter, one of the concerns you had was about questions. Now we have been actually able to talk, and I said we could talk about practically anything, and we are past the hour right now, so we are officially done for the Smart Factory. But I just want to hear, because is there anything that we need to talk about, something that could be interesting? We still have 20 people on the call, so I was just wondering if we have something that could be interesting. Make a closing on this very exciting presentation. Can you hear me, Paul?
I hear you. Was that question was to Hans Peter, right?
Oh, sorry, it's Hans Peter. Sorry, yeah. Did you hear me, Hans Peter?
Yeah, I had no, not very good. So sorry for.
Yeah.
Can anyone else answer the question, Michael?
Yeah, I think what the point we try to make it is that we are really working strongly together from the LiftERP, from the workflow, from the smartphone shop side to realize the smart factory, and we are really working closely together on this vision also, because we think that's the way that you have to go, and at the end we will realize a better customer experience, and we will have a better business. And I think that we were really excited about that you invited us actually, because I think that it's exactly the point where we're trying to.
We have wanted to work with you for a long time, both for commercial and non-commercial projects, because I think that what we try to do on Inkish is basically create a platform for having these kind of discussions and presentations that can also be allowed to be some a little bit lower or higher technical level, whatever way you look at it. Because of course, if you talk about only the sales and the machines and the equipment, maybe you at some point end up having more a bigger audience right now. But eventually, we will need to know and understand both the company's way of where they see the future is going. So to the technical, I can tell you that we had a session Monday in a 2-hour session with Diego Diaz, and he was. I can tell you that you had to have good nerves and a very deep interest in technology to watch it, because it was like taking all the software elements you have, put them on hold, put it on a release, see what happens with things, in that kind of detailed level to understand things. And I think that one of the things that is the pandemic, we need to have new ways of presenting these kind of things. I'm not saying that we are the platform for it, but we definitely want to be a platform where we can have these discussions and have the time to do it. And that's also why I say that, okay, now it's 4 minutes past the hour, but that is not the thing, is that we have delivered the message that we believe is important for the audience here. We still have 20 people that are listening to us, right? But I take that we are done for today. I say anything you want, but I appreciate it. To be honest, I got a little better understanding of what you do, because there's so many vendors, so much, and I think your approach with the 360 degrees, that is sometimes a marketing term that a lot of people are just using, but I see that you live that term into how you develop services and how you understand business, and I like the presentations of how you did that. Basically, I think it's great. And as we are on the last minute, we got, of course, a comment or question. Let's see, it's from Terry Corman. LiftERP and Workflow Plus, along with SmartShop, will have the same impact that the Durst Lambda industry. Is that a colleague or?
That's a customer.
It's a customer. Okay. You never know, right? So that is a good statement, right? Because you started somewhere else. Right now, you are moving. This may make a lot of sense. Do you have any comments to it?
Yeah, I think that if it's as far as that, we are really excited about how also is the feedback of the customer. That the customer taking our products and making advertising with our products to convince their customer that they are following the right vision. So I think this relation we can build together with the customer with digitalization further. That's what really motivates us.
I like that, and I like that video too, because that was really showcasing how your software can benefit a customer, and that is the reason why we're here. So let's that be the final words for this session, and then I just want to play a video to thank you, the sponsors, and thank you also Durst, because you're not in the video because you came in very late. but you are a sponsor, and I'm very grateful for the relationship, and I hope that we will have an opportunity to meet again. Can be in many different ways. I know that I'm going to your headquarters to talk to Christopher Gamp soon. Who knows?
Yeah, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys, and have a great weekend
Thank
ahead
you.
of you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.